been lit, boy. Everything goes.
We now return you to regular programming.
Let's do it. All right, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the podcast where we have a good friend of ours, Erin Summers, back on the podcast with us, Pelicans and Saints reporter, and also co-host of the Saints podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Erin, it's a pleasure always having you on. How are you?
It's great being here. I love when I hear from you guys and enjoy sitting here and talking to y'all about many things. You guys usually pull some random stuff out there, keep me on my toes, but I am doing well.
It's been
You gotta
interesting
be really
for
busy.
us.
You got to be really busy right now. You got the Pelicans starting. You got the Saints.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's really awesome to be able to work for two teams, but it is a lot, especially at this point in the season, and it's only going to get more. We just started training camp with the Pelicans. You know, the NBA's starting to get rolling. Preseason games will start in the next week, and then it's gonna be a lot going on.
Since we're talking, wait, Ty. Since we're talking Pelicans, we might as well get this.
Yeah.
I know you have all the Saints stuff in the world to ask.
No, I was
Gail Benson just came out and said that they're willing to pay the luxury tax. How does that make you feel as a fan, and how does it make the Saints fans feel? Not the Saints. I see you saying Saints. The Pelicans fans being down there that, hey, we're ready to spend money.
Yeah, the Pelicans are one of the teams that have never done that. They've not been in that position, and now they have players that want to be here, that want to play, that are signing on for multiple years. They're signing big contracts, and they're really ready to put it all in on this team and this organization, which is great because we saw the fans come out in a big way last year when they made the play-in push and then ended up in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So their support is here. People cannot wait for this season to start, especially with the addition of Zion Williamson back and healthy, and just bringing back the core that they had last year, a full season with CJ McCollum. It's going to be really interesting to see what they can do this year. And it's good to know that the upper management, front office, they are kind of backing it with what they need to financially to make sure that it's going to happen, and the players are going to stay here, and the fans are going to have a good team for years to come, I think.
And like you
Now,
said, CJ McCollum's back, and Zion looks great. Zion looks like he's in great shape.
Zion just signed his extension, the 5-year. I think it's 194 million or something like that. And they're saying already he looks so impressive in his little 5-on-5 scrimmages. Is Zion back? Does he look better than ever?
So we've had 5 practices. They've done 2 a days the past 2 days. They went live for the evening practices and then again today at the end of practice. The first practice, the first time he'd ever been on the court in live action with our projected starters, CJ McCollum, Jonas Valanciunas, Brandon Ingram, and Herb Jones. It was unreal.
That's a lot of talent.
It was seamless. He fit right in. It was like he's the missing piece. He opened so many things up offensively. He did not miss a shot in his first practice with a basically new group of people. I mean, he hasn't been on the court in over a year playing basketball. Every day there's a moment or 2 or 3 where we all stop and we go and look at each other like, he just did that? Like, and it just seems so easy for him. Everybody else, seems like they're kind of like their heart's beating a little faster. For him, it's just he's calm. He's so smooth in everything that he does. His ability, he's getting to the rim. He's cutting through traffic. He is dominating people, and they want him to. I mean, they by all means. Go ahead, attack the rim, get up there, and he's doing it with ease.
If you look at the league right now, I think beyond Giannis, if he can develop that outside shot, he could be almost as dominant as Giannis.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because he'll be able to get to the basket easier, and like as big as he is and as quick as he can jump, that's insane to see for a guy that big. So
he played 85 games in his career here with the Pels so far.
That's
25.7 points per game in that entire time. And he shot 60% from the floor.
Wow.
I mean, he's efficient. Wow. He knows his places. He knows his shots. He's smart. He will shoot from outside if he has that shot, if he's feel confident in that look.
Yeah.
And everybody that I've talked to on the team, they're working on their shots because they know that they're going to be the ones that are open. And so they want to make sure they're delivering when he draws the attention of the defense. You know, he's going to create such a different dynamic for that team.
Now, the Pelicans have $3.5 million left in cap space. Do you see any holes that they need to fill before the season starts?
Well, we were looking at the team and trying to figure out, we have rookie Dyson Daniels has come in and it looks beyond his years, the way that he sees the game, his knowledge, the way he sees the floor, his ability to pass, and defensively, he's so good. And it's like looking at everybody on the court, it's like, well, where does he fit in? How can he, how is he going to be able to find minutes? Because this roster is stacked right now. The continuity from last year to this year, you have a solid, very solid starting five. You're looking at starters from last season and like Jackson Hayes, who might be your third rotation off the bench.
Wow.
Which is wild. The competition that there is at every position right now, you know, yeah, sure. When the trades were they were getting talks with, you know, Kyrie or Kevin Durant or whoever, you obviously entertain players like that and what it would look like, how would it affect the team? Who would you have to lose financially? What would that look like? And they didn't want to do it. You know, they're very comfortable and confident in what they have right now.
Yeah, smart choice.
But they're also very big on culture and bringing in the right types of players.
Yeah.
So they didn't want to mess up that dynamic either because they have a really good locker room right now. Yeah.
Which might have happened. That's exciting. I mean, you think about the last time we had you on this podcast, like you said, making that push to the playoffs and how much talent you guys already have. And then you get a Zion who, if he's healthy all season, like that's exciting to be a Pelicans fan. That's really exciting.
One last Pelicans question, then Ty, it's all yours.
Take your time.
Football.
Do you think they're going to improve on last year, and do you think they're a sure shot for the playoffs?
If they're not in this top six, if they're not a playoff team, then I think it's going to be a massive disappointment for this group of guys.
Because let's face it, there's a lot of unknowns. I mean, Phoenix is a mess right now. Everyone's going in and out of there. Utah, that team's just in shambles. Minnesota actually upgraded their talent, so they're going to be a team that everyone's going to be watching.
Right.
So I think it's wide open.
Yeah. When you think about it, you got Golden State, you mentioned Minnesota, the Grizzlies are going to be back, the Nuggets are going to be a contender, and then the Suns, as you mentioned. So you have that's five, and then maybe
I'm so glad you didn't say the Lakers either. We have to be realistic with what they have.
You never know.
LA street clothes.
Yeah. That's gonna be exciting. That's gonna be real exciting. But we'll keep it moving. We know you got other stuff to go on to, and we're happy to have you here. Obviously, Saints and Vikings in London this week, 9:00 game. You know, gotta wake up early for this game. Take it off, Ace. Take it off.
You don't want me to, right?
I know. I rolled up and you guys were like, "Oh, it's so good to see your Saints gear in the background," and I'm just sitting here eyeing. You know, Erin down there in the corner with
it shocked me. I would have put my stuff on if I would have knew he was gonna be wearing his stuff. Erin, go ahead, Ace. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna. How'd you know I wasn't? You should have known I was gonna be repping it today. This is all I got.
I should have, because after today, our friendship's on pause for a little bit, especially if they lose. Erin, is this red alert for the Saints? You know, the slow start.
I was about to say, I think we might need this win a little more.
I already answered my questions. I was going to ask you, how bad do the Saints need this win this week?
The approach for both of these teams leading up to this week is different. And I think that's what's really interesting about this matchup.
Yeah.
You know, with the time change and how they're handling it. The Saints decided prior to what's happened so far this season that they were going to go ahead and leave straight from Carolina and go to London, spend the entire week there, try to get acclimated to that time zone.
Yeah.
Because it's an 8:30 a.m. kick for, you know, us in the central time zone. That's early. Last time players played at that time, they were 5 years old in Pee Wee football. Like they have not played that early in forever. And so I think it's interesting that, you know, the Vikings, they're not going to get there until Friday. So there's that dynamic. But I think the key for the Saints is that they have this entire week to just focus on football and be with each other and try to right the wrongs that they've had so far this season with the turnovers and the penalties, just trying to hopefully get on the same page.
But Erin, could it be the fact that the quarterback was out all year almost last year? and that you have new receivers in here. Michael Thomas
Mhm.
come back. Is it just a matter of timing? I mean, you're in a division where you're only
Yeah.
one game out of first place right now, so it's not like, oh my God, the
Mhm.
ship's sinking. You have a new offensive coordinator too, correct?
I mean,
Yes, well, not
he's
new,
been
but
there,
he's
yeah.
calling the plays for the first time. Yeah. So it's interesting because you look across the league, you have one less preseason game. A lot of teams are opting not to play your starters as much during the preseason. So
Which
you
is what
don't
we
have
talked
those
about, yeah.
live reps together. And then with the Saints, Jameis Winston was hurt in camp. Michael Thomas was out in and out in camp.
Mhm.
They didn't have a lot of time together. They went to Green Bay and thought that was going to be their opportunity to really get some work against the Packers. Well, Winston didn't play at all during their practices in Green Bay. So my thought was, we watched Atlanta. It was a really slow start. It's like, okay, no problem. They got to get used to each other. They got to
Yeah.
gain some rhythm. And then it
Yep.
all clicked in the fourth quarter. And
Looks great.
everybody was like, okay, perfect. This looks great. This is what we were expecting. Sign me up. And then the last 2 weeks have been a
Tough.
struggle.
Tough.
Yeah, they really have been. And
Can't score in the first 3 quarters.
I don't know if that's, they're averaging just over 3 points in the first half.
Yeah.
It's
Ooh.
insane. So I don't know if it's still that they're working through. They're still working through some injuries. We have a bunch of them this week, trying to get on the same page. You have a new head coach, although it's not a new person among the team. Same with their offensive coordinator, but there are new voices in different roles. So I think there are some adjustments that they had to make. You added a lot of new pieces in the receiving core. You change in people's positions around. Taysom Hill's now been working in as a tight end, and all of a sudden he's back taking reps as a quarterback. So at some point you want to hope that the continuity starts to develop and things start to click. And that's what I'm hoping comes out of this week, of them all spending this time together.
Well, what are they saying about Jameis down there? Are they saying,
Yeah.
oh God, it's the old Jameis again? Or is it more again of timing or is it the injuries? Should they sit him a few weeks to let him get healthy?
To
And
that point,
I
do you
just-
see
No, go ahead.
Taysom getting some snaps at QB then also based it
Well, he
almost kind of
he was
leans
today.
toward that.
He was
Okay.
Yeah,
today.
so we have not seen Taysom take any snaps at all at quarterback during the entire offseason, during training camp, up until Wednesday and Thursday. He took all the second team reps at quarterback. Jameis Winston did not even attend practice. He was not there. Andy Dalton took all first team reps.
Mm-hmm.
And Jameis has been limited in practices for the past couple weeks because he injured his back in the first game against the Falcons. So it's not out of the ordinary for him not to be participating, but I would say not to be there, especially Wednesday, because the hotel is far away. You might as well stay there, get your treatments there, and not spend 30 minutes there, another 30 minutes back on a bus. So I got Wednesday. Thursday is a little more like, all right.
That was concerning today.
Right. What is going to happen this weekend? It'll be really interesting to see. I don't think Taysom will get a lot of reps, but he was throwing for the first time, that we've seen all year. We saw him line up at quarterback a couple times, take a couple just direct snaps and run, right. We haven't seen him actually in as a true wildcat or make any passing.
And it's crazy. That's a
situations.
long flight too for someone to have a back injury to be sitting in a plane for all that time.
It was a little over 7 hours.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a long time. And I talked to people who have had similar injuries, and it's like to get technical, but it's like the outside bone of your back, like vertebrae. So it's not like the center of your, your main back, and structurally, it hurts everywhere to stand and sit and whatever. You can function, but I'm sure it doesn't feel good. And then you add in that he's still coming back from his ACL, MCL, and then he tweaked his foot in camp. So he's kind of just been banged up here for the majority of the season already.
Now, Erin, as for Saints fans out there, you look even last year, you could take this back. Jameis, his touchdown to interception ratio was great, but even as an offense, we didn't produce a lot of touchdowns in the first 3 quarters. At what point does it, and I don't want this, I like Jameis. I hope he is able to play this week, but you brought in Andy Dalton, who looks great in the preseason. At what point with a new head coach, do you think Dennis Allen pulls the trigger and says, you know what, maybe we need to throw Andy Dalton out there and give it a shot?
It was a question that was brought up after the game on Sunday against the Panthers by a lot of media members, and Dennis shut it down very quickly.
Yeah.
And Winston made a point this week of saying that he felt that he was the best option for this team at the percentage that he was feeling health-wise, and he was confident in that. And he is not going to go out there and put himself in a position, or the team in a position, where he's jeopardizing their ability to succeed. You have to believe people when they tell you that, because you don't have anything else to go by. Although you do look at the results that you're seeing on the field and you're wondering, but it's not just Winston. There's been fumbles. The offensive line has struggled at times. There's been a lot of pre-snap penalties. So it's kind of the entire unit that's not working together.
I agree.
To help provide, a good canvas for Winston to work with, I guess.
I agree. And it's frustrating too, because you see some drives, they drive down the field like it's nothing, but usually it's not till the fourth quarter. You mentioned Taysom Hill. How is his injury? I mean, he's back at practice, but I've only ever seen him in the Atlanta game. You saw him for like one drive and then he was gone most of the game.
So he hurt his ribs in training camp. It was early in training camp, and he was frustrated because he had spent all of offseason going through his plantar fasciitis surgery thing. And he said that not only was he recovering from that just to get healthy, he was now really having to learn a new position for the first time. He's been called a quote unquote tight end, kind of lined up as that, but he hasn't really ever tried to learn the true position,
which he could be good at. He could be good at.
Absolutely. But he's talked before about having to gain weight and lose weight based on what position he's playing, if he wants to be a blocker. And he said himself, he's like, it's not an easy position, because you have to know everyone's responsibilities. You have to know when you need to block, you need to know the routes for, when they're passing or versus when they're running. Like, you have so many different responsibilities. So, and then the fact that you're literally putting your body out there.
He's a physical player too, so it doesn't help that either. He's hurdling, he's jumping.
He is not afraid to throw himself out there. But that rib injury, it came during a practice where they weren't wearing pads. It was a little weird. It's something that he's kind of been working through for a while, and worse than the one that Alvin Kamara has, because Alvin Kamara also has been dealing with the rib injury for the past couple of weeks as well.
Well, Aaron, what's changed defensively? I mean, you look at the Saints, they only have 4 sacks as a team, which is the bottom half of the league. You have a great pass defense, but your rushing defense, which was second last year, is like in the bottom half of the league. These guys allowed over 400 yards rushing already. The red zone defense, the red zone defense is still the second best in the league. But what's changed? Are they not getting enough pressure on the quarterback? Are they not generating enough rush up the middle to stop the run?
So this is what happens when you just look at the stats and you don't watch the game. No,
that's what I said, though. That's what I said.
I'm in Colorado now. We don't get those games over here anymore.
I said to him, I mean, Tampa couldn't score a touchdown all game. Baker barely scored a touchdown all game. It's just
it's wild, because again, fans, they're like, what happened to all the sacks that we used to get? We had 46 sacks last year. What's going on? Well, they started really slow to start the season as far as that category goes, and they ended up averaging almost 3 or so a game. But you have to look at the matchup. The first week you're playing Marcus Mariota, who runs, he gets out of the pocket. You have to play him differently than you would a regular pocket quarterback who's not going to be a threat with his legs. And then with Tom Brady was moving so fast, you didn't have time to get to him, and he knew he had to. He knew
we usually
had to get rid of the ball fast, and he was under 2.5 seconds before he was releasing his pass. So he was moving so fast that they weren't able to get, which is fine, because they were creating pressure. They were making him work.
Go watch
quick.
the games. Go watch the games.
So
I'm too busy watching the Cowboys.
Defense, they were not concerned about these sack numbers. They ended up getting 3 last week against the Panthers. But I think it is more so the matchup in that regard. They are still pressuring the quarterback. They are still, defending passes, deflecting passes.
We also got new guys on defense, getting that chemistry, like you said, on offense. Honey
Right, I
Badger,
mean-
PJ Williams playing more of the safety. Then we got Marcus May, so it's a new guys in the back.
Yeah, I mean, you get rid of, or not get rid of Malcolm Jenkins
Retire,
and Marcus Williams. Those guys were solid. You
They were.
replace them with Tyrann Mathieu and Marcus May, and you think you're going to be fine, and you should be. But then your a starting corner opposing Marshawn Lattimore gets hurt, and so he's out. And then you're kind of having to rotate people in that position. That's where you saw PJ Williams or Justin Evans,
Yep.
Even Alante Taylor, who is now on IR.
Yep,
Kind
saw
of
that.
filled in. He actually did a really good job when he filled in, and he's a rookie. So they're having to rotate and shift people around, and the Bucks really sliced him up as soon as Marshawn got kicked out of the game.
Yep,
They
which was crap.
attacked
Which was
the
crap.
secondary, which is also, yes, I will second that. But I mean, it's just a chess match, and things just have not gone the Saints' way.
I honestly think the Saints are still going to win that division. I don't think Tampa Bay scares me. They scored 19 points against Dallas. They struggled against the Green Bay last week.
Struggled against
Yeah.
Saints.
I just
Yeah.
think they're going downhill fast, and I just think the Saints. Surprisingly, I thought the defense would be a lot better. I said to Ty earlier before the season started, they're going to win a division. I still think they're going to do it. I really
The
do.
defense has to create turnovers.
Yeah.
They have to affect the ball. That's the one area that they have not done that
Yeah, I
yet. So
agree.
that's, if they can do that, then they've done very
Well-
well. The Panthers only had one red zone possession, and they were 4
Panthers suck.
14
We should have
and
won that game.
third down. So
No, God, no
you know-
kidding. Scoreless until what, the third quarter?
It was like the fourth quarter until Baker Mayfield threw a touchdown. Like it's just been that type of season. so far.
honestly, everything that could have gone wrong in that game really
Happened.
did go wrong for us,
Happened,
because
yep.
Will Lutz, who everyone's so happy to have back, the kicker, who's usually automatic, misses a field goal and has one blocked.
blocked.
So there's just all these little things.
Michael
that
Thomas, Jarvis
happen,
Landry.
get hurt.
injured.
Right. It's
How is Michael Thomas, by the way? No one's talking about his foot. I know. Are they resting him? Is it serious?
I think that they're kind of just resting him again, with the travel back and forth to where the facilities are. If you're not going to get a lot of run with somebody, let them stay back at the compound, get the treatment. They have set up an entire training facility at this hotel. They rented out the entire hotel. No one else is able to stay there. So they
Wow.
have
Right.
full reign over the entire place. And I mean, they're utilizing that. So I think that there's more work being done at the hotel than we may be privy to. Definitely not seen at the actual practice field, but they're also practicing on a rugby field with, real grass when they're going to go play basically indoors, because it's like an enclosed stadium. There's like no wind, no natural elements that are really going to bother them in that regard. And it's turf. So it's kind of, I mean, Michael Thomas knows how to run a route.
Yeah.
He's going to get
Mhm.
himself open. I guess it's a toe thing for him. It's not like he aggravated the same injury or anything.
Which is
like
good.
that.
Which is really
Yeah.
good.
Aaron, you're around practice and you're around the players all the time. Is there anybody offensively or defensively that we don't talk about, we don't get to see, that you see that's coming up through the ranks that like this guy's going to be a star one day?
Chris Olave.
Well, yeah, but he just got named offensive rookie of the month, first month of the season. So I think people are realizing
Yeah.
that he is
Real
as
quick.
good as he is. But it's also because he's playing across from Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry, who are drawing the attention of your best defenders. And he's going to be the guy that gets looks every game, but he's delivering. He's very quick. He's smooth. There's been a couple moments where they've really tried. I mean, Winston loves him as a target. He has almost 20 on the season. I think he has 17. So he's definitely the most targeted. And it's just kind of still the chemistry between them two, trying to time things out.
Yeah, because they could have hit a bunch of times. Could
Yeah.
have hit a bunch of times.
Right. And then they want to do that. They want to utilize his speed. They know how fast he is. They know how well Winston can throw the deep ball. It's just about getting that timing down. So he's definitely a good one. I mean, Pete Werner has been phenomenal on the
Huge.
defensive side.
Huge.
Phenomenal. And he did not participate at all during training camp because he had a groin injury and he just popped off
Wow.
from game one. He's top of the league in total tackles.
Yeah.
So
Tackles.
he's
Look
done
out for him.
really well. Yeah, he's done very well. And then I keep hearing really, really good things about Marcus Davenport. Coach Allen has said that he is the player that if he's healthy and playing to his capability has the most effect on the defense.
Yeah.
Can be the most positive affecting part of their defense.
He's a dog. He's a dog.
Yeah.
He's got it.
You know what's funny? This whole NFL season, it's only week 4, but this whole season has been crazy already.
Just
you look
chaos.
at
It's absolute chaos.
yeah,
The whole thing.
all the injuries. I mean, you look at the
all the
Raiders,
teams
I
we
mean,
thought were going to be good that
Yeah.
aren't.
Yeah. Who thought Miami and the Eagles would be the last 2 undefeated teams in the NFL?
And
I
the
don't know.
Lions.
You think the Dolphins are the real thing though? You
No.
don't think they're gonna like put
I
her
don't
out?
know.
They're
here?
going to lose tonight.
Yeah.
I honestly think the
I think
Buffalo
that-
Bills are the best team in that division. I think they're the best team in the AFC.
Yeah. That game, I
Dolphins just
can't
beat
believe
him,
that was I know. I was
And Tua shouldn't even
crazy.
been on the field.
Well, he's cleared and he's gonna play.
That was,
you know,
that was
Thursday
scary the way
night,
he got
so-
up. That was
Okay.
scary. That was scary.
My last
What I wanna
question,
say.
you hinted at it earlier with the turnovers, but how do the Saints beat my Minnesota Vikings this weekend?
By just showing up.
Scoring more points.
Oh, the fact that they don't get in
Yes.
till Friday does kind of scare me.
That's huge, I
Honestly.
think, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's weird because in talking to the players this week, they've talked about how they didn't feel right until today at practice.
Oh, good luck, Ace.
Oh God.
So, the flight and then your body just acclimating to the time zone change. They said they still kind of felt stiff, lethargic, whatever.
Mm.
I don't know. Maybe the Vikings worked out all that, like the post game soreness and that kind of stuff, and their bodies are feeling
true.
better to make the trip rather than going right after a game.
Well, what do the players think about going overseas to play? Do they like it? Are they hyped for this?
Yeah, because
Or
we
is it
talked
more
about
like-
that. Is it even worth it anymore?
It's not great for a team. It's not great for the players. And kind of what we just said, it really throws off your rhythm. And now
I
the
wouldn't wanna do
Saints
it.
have to come back and play a real short week.
Mhm.
This next week, and the travel is a lot. We don't have a bye after this game, and that's usually what you bank on. Is if you have to make a trip like this, then you kind of get that reprieve on the back end of it. So overall, and even Coach Allen said this, he's like, it's not my favorite thing to do at all, because it just
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
it's not easy on a team from top to bottom, but he gets it for the overall
Yeah.
growth of the game.
Yeah. And you get gypped out
know?
of a home game, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you know what? We lost 6 of the last 8 at home. So
Let's not talk about it.
maybe we
Let's
can
not
turn
talk
it
about
around in London.
Let's not talk about it.
Like, I honestly don't feel bad about the short weeks. The Cowboys play on Thanksgiving every year, so it's always a short week for us.
Yeah.
Do the Saints play next Thursday? Is that what you're getting at?
No, but
Oh,
they're
okay,
not going to
okay.
be able to come home and like they'll get home late.
Oh yeah, it's just a long time to
Sunday
get back.
or early Monday. Yeah. And this
That
kind of
sucks.
throws off your whole week again.
Now,
Yeah.
here's a good question for you, Aaron. Now
Probably
that they're going
last
overseas,
couple,
Yeah.
just
I
do
don't
they-
know.
do they get a chance to go out and venture around, or since COVID and everything happened, are they like locked into hotels?
No. So on Monday, got an early Monday morning. They, did their media availabilities, didn't practice. Some of the players went to a soccer game there in the city and or did that together. They've gone out to dinner, as a defensive line and an offensive line a couple nights. So they're like I said, they're really trying to work on this chemistry and get to know each other, get comfortable with each other. Tuesday was a usual complete off day, so a lot of guys went shopping. They said that was the thing that they were most excited about doing over there, because there's, in the words of Tyrann Mathieu, there's places that you can actually go and get things from there, where if you were in the United States, you'd have to have a plug for, which I'm not exactly sure like what shoes he's after.
Yeah.
He was excited about that. And then some of them brought their families with them. Their families were
Oh,
allowed
wow.
to travel. So
That's
some
really
of them
cool.
have their significant others, their wives, girlfriends, and stuff that were able to come with them.
That's really cool. Last thing I want to ask, well, just talk about with you, Aaron, is Saints obviously debuting an alternate helmet. First time I think ever that they've ever, besides they had like a retro helmet a couple times, but
Yeah.
it's got to be exciting for the organization to have an all black helmet with the Florida leaves going up the middle. I think you
The-
got it
yeah.
to even try. Did you try on Cam Jordan? You tried on someone's, didn't you?
Yeah. So I was able to do the preseason broadcast, and they gave me one for kind of display there, and it was Cam Jordan's. He's always the one that doesn't mind being the model when we have new uniforms that we have to reveal and stuff like that. So his actual helmet was done and the decals were on.
That's sick.
And it was really cool. I like it.
It's cool
A
looking.
lot of fans were a little, the fleur-de-lis, there's a bunch of them down the center instead of a stripe now. They thought it was a little much, but I think they look really good.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see them wear it. The players are pumped about, getting a black helmet and something different because they've never had any other color helmet besides gold.
The gold
ever.
Should have kept the helmet
In like 60 something years or so, so it's crazy that they're finally breaking from tradition and doing something a little different.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it
Maybe
looks
that'll be it. Maybe that's the key to victory on Sunday.
All right,
that
real
could be the
quick,
start.
real quick.
Could be the start.
Who wins? Who wins? And what's the
prediction time.
score?
Come on.
Come
now.
on.
Well, since my paycheck comes from the Saints.
Yeah, I'm taking the Saints.
Yeah, I think the Saints they're gonna get it together. And even if it is Andy Dalton who's starting and playing quarterback,
You look good.
I think everybody's confident in his abilities, and I think that's why he was brought in this year, because with everything that happened last year, with Winston getting hurt and then kind of the rotation of Simeon and Hill, having a solid backup is huge in this league. We've seen it already this season.
Oh yeah, I agree. I think that this is a must win for the Saints. In my opinion, I think they're going to turn it around and get it.
And the Vikings lost to a
do we have
backup
a
last
score
year.
there?
No, I
Do we
don't
have
do
a score
scores.
there,
I
Miss
don't do
Erin? Do
scores.
we have a score?
No,
I'm so bad with
more
that. I don't do the
points than
scores.
Vikings.
Yeah,
I can't do the math quick in my head like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was flying high coming in this week, and now that I'm finding out some little tidbits, they didn't fly over. There's a little bit of chemistry building with the team, being over in London, getting some off
Yeah.
time. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous.
Not
but
every organization can be as great as ours.
Minnesota
our main
24-17.
For sure are stopping the run, and their defense was really ticked off about how many yards they gave up to CMC last week,
Yeah.
over 100. So if Cook's playing, I know you guys have a viable backup after him as well. And was it
Mhm.
Matheson or Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Madison.
So yeah, Alexander Madison. So that's something that they're focused on, and they really want to create some turnovers and then just limiting the mistakes on the offensive side. So sounds simple.
Sounds
We'll
simple.
see.
Let's hope it gets done. Well, Aaron, we always
Wait,
as always,
Aaron, before we let you go, what do you think of the Dallas Cowboys?
Oh goodness.
I know.
No,
right?
I think that was a
Honestly,
joke.
like,
I
what
think
is it with Cowboys fans? Like, they
Love it.
just
They're
are
trash.
like in this other dimension where they still think that they're relevant all the time, no matter what happens.
Not me. Not
Lay it
me.
on him. Lay it on
Not
him.
me.
I like
I'm
this.
always yelling at the TV. I'm
Ace
like,
loves
fire
this.
everybody. Fire everybody.
I mean, Cooper, though,
Cooper.
no, we'll let you go, Aaron, because I know we're going to talk about Cooper Rush and his Cowboys after this anyways.
As always, Aaron, we love having you on, and we thank you for always giving us the insides.
It's always a
we hope-
pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. I enjoyed it. Please ask me anytime.
All right. Hey, you have a good
Perfect.
rest of your
Thank you
night.
very much.
Thank you, y'all too.
All right.
All
Bye.
right, bye-bye.
Good luck.
Bye. And
Bye.
go Saints.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, God.
Go Saints, baby.
I'll
Go
give her the
Saints.
last word. I'll give her the last word on that.
Oh, it's
I
always
can't believe she burned me on the podcast and said, well, if you'd watch the games.
hey.
Well, okay, but
I told you the same
think the
thing.
matchups. I think to the point the Bucks wanted to run the ball too, though. So it's a valid question.
I said to him when he brought up the stats, I said, hey, Tom Brady didn't score a touchdown to the fourth quarter. Sam Baker Mayfield. I said, those stats could say all they want. I know my defense is keeping us in this game every single time.
But Tampa Bay is
Yeah.
a declining team. The Saints,
Yeah.
I thought the Saints were going to run out the gate. And I just think it's just a matter of them not clicking yet. I think
I do
they're
too.
going to gel and they're going to fly. I think they're going to be fine.
I do too.
I'm not concerned with that division at all. Who's going to win that division?
Yeah.
It's going to be the Saints. Whether it's under
I love that
500
too.
or over 500, they're going to win the division.
Yeah. Ace, take us boots in the ground real quick in Minnesota. What do the Vikes need to do to pull out this early win?
I mean,
what are you
can't turn
hearing?
the ball over.
Yeah.
I mean, Dalvin Cook fumbled it. We're free of injuries.
Hey,
so it
close
sounds like
game
Booth-
with the Lions. I picked the Lions to win.
Oof.
I thought they had it in the bag. They were dominating all game. What were your thoughts through
Oh,
that
my
game,
God.
and what needs to be better to play the Saints this week?
That's a great question. I think first and foremost, they double team Jefferson almost the entire game. So I'm curious how the Saints are going to match up with him
Marshawn
and
Lattimore, baby.
whether Yeah, if they go 1-on-1, how many shots does Cousins take like he did against the Eagles against Darius Slay? How many shots does he take there? Or is he going to try to mix it around? So I think our offense, if we can't be one dimensional, like we need Cook to run the ball 10 plus times, and we need Madison to run the ball equal, maybe 15 to 10, whatever, 10 to 15 touches each for them.
Look, and the thing
up.
is we got to stop looking down on Detroit. I mean, they're the second highest scoring team in the NFL right now. If they develop a defense, they're going to be a team to reckon with.
They should be
they
3-0.
scored 95 points in
3-0.
3 games.
They should be 3-0.
They scored 95 points. Yeah, they're only one team ahead of them, who was Baltimore, who scored 99 points. They're ahead of the Buffalo Bills right now in scoring.
You have to imagine that if they are 3-0 right now, that Jared Goff is in the MVP voting right now.
Well, I mean, he got Hurts in it already, and he's only played he's played Detroit and
the Commanders.
Washington.
It's like the early Heisman.
It's too early for that. It's too early for that.
So defense, I feel like the defense should be like, especially if it's Andy Dalton. We know, well, all of them aren't going to run out of the pocket except for Taysom. That's the only thing that makes me a little worried.
Winston can run.
Wildcat.
Winston can
run. But he's not going to anymore. Not much this year. I can't see it after the injury. But
go ahead.
Regardless, I think we got to stop the run for sure.
Yeah,
we know that's what they're going to do.
Let's break down the game tonight. Like she said, do we think Miami is elite? They go on and beat the Buffalo Bills. I don't know if you guys saw that video of the offensive coordinator up in the booth, him slamming his gear around and breaking the camera. Huge loss for the Bills. Dolphins, man, 3-0, playing the 1-2 Bengals, who are off of a fresh win, I believe, against the Jets. Underdogs of the Bengals. Obviously, the Dolphins are the favorites, but hey, do you guys watch the game? Like, do you have Amazon Prime? I think it's free to watch the game. I could be wrong.
But tonight?
Like, do you guys watch the game on Thursday, or do you not? Because it's only on Amazon Prime.
Usually, I do if it's a real good game. I think Miami's going to beat Cincinnati. Cincinnati's a train wreck.
How big of a win would this be, though, for Cincinnati?
Oh,
it'll get them back in it.
Huge, yeah.
It'll get them back in it. I mean,
well, and that's the thing is, they need it more too. Kind of like what you guys were talking, Ty, you and Aaron, with the Saints.
I think the Bengals need this win desperately. That'd be a huge, like, all right, they're back. If they could beat the 3-0 Dolphins. But then again, I think if the Dolphins lose tonight, then everyone's gonna be like, see, we told you the Dolphins aren't elite. They just lost to a 1-2 team. But also the Bengals were in the Super Bowl last year, so I don't think you can think that way.
Well, and I kind of agree with Chris's point though, too, where you almost have to see it. And the Bengals, they beat the Jets, but didn't look all that pretty doing it either.
No.
Let's go down the line here. We'll do our predictions here. We got the Bears playing the Giants. Both teams 2-1, but Bears a sloppy 2-1. Giants are a questionable 2-1. They started off hot, 2-0 team. Everybody was like, you know what? Even that Dallas game, that New York crowd was in it, man. I was like, this is a different atmosphere compared to the past couple of years. I think if the Bears can pull out a win here, it's huge. But also
I feel bad for Daniel Jones. I mean, I actually feel bad for the guy. As bad as he is now, the fumbles and turnovers, that guy's been sacked more than anybody in football. I mean, that guy is, Dallas sacked him 5 or 6 times. That guy is on the run for his life. And it's just amazing that he came out of there without an injury.
I agree.
I mean, if Chicago could generate a pass rush, it's going to be a good game.
I had a comparison last week in watching Daniel Jones against the Cowboys and in watching the Texans, the Bears. Justin Fields and Daniel Jones are the exact same quarterback. And you're going to watch it this week. They are very inaccurate at times. And all they do when they don't find somebody is just put it down and run.
Here's my pick. So, I'm taking the Bears. I think if Justin Fields can stay with a consistent throwing game and a running game, they're going to win. But I think if the Giants have a good Barkley running game, that it's going to be a very close finish. But I'm still taking the Bears in this game.
I mean, Barkley is the leading rusher in the league with 200+ yards. I mean, Dallas did shut him down until he got that one long run late. But where's it at? Is it in Chicago?
It's in MetLife.
I'm going Giants. I'm going Giants. I just think Giants. The crowd's pumped. I'm going Giants.
Hey, both these teams deserve a 3-1 start. Let's be real. Like the Bears fans will be destroying their town if they're 3-1. All right, next game we got the Bills and the Ravens, both 2-1 teams. Bills are hey, if it's a minus sign, they're the underdogs, right?
The Bills have a lot of injuries.
Bills are the underdogs. Sunday, 1:00 game. It is it's in Baltimore. They're expecting a little bit of rain. Hey, Lamar Jackson's still looking great. That one loss is to the Dolphins, who it was a complete shootout. I'm taking the Bills, though. This is a redemption game. I think Lamar is going to have a good game, but I think the Bills are going to come out and win.
Yeah, Ravens are another team that could be undefeated. Yeah, obviously, they lost to the Dolphins.
Yeah.
You mentioned, but I like the Bills on a get back game. Well, I don't know what the injuries are, but if they're missing Micah Hyde, that's starting safeties again.
He
I
is.
don't.
Michael
Oh,
Hyde's out.
okay.
Well, he's injured. I don't know
Oh.
if he's out or not, but they have a lot of injuries.
Okay.
I just think Buffalo is not going to lose 2 in a row.
Yeah.
I think
Yep.
Josh Allen is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I think they're going to blow it up. I think Baltimore's defense, they allowed 77 points already in 3 games. But I think Buffalo's going to destroy them. I honestly do.
Did you hear how Josh Allen was talking on a podcast? How he the one dog pile against the Miami game, the guy grabbed his junk, grabbed his pecker.
Remember what Uncle Bill used to say? What goes on in those piles?
What goes in those piles stays in those piles.
Yeah.
All right, next
Lot of
game
dirty
we got
things.
Cleveland at Atlanta. Cleveland at Atlanta. Atlanta's 1-2. Cleveland is 2-1. Hey, Cleveland Thursday night against the Steelers looked great. We talked about on this podcast if Brissett can just be a steady, protect the quarterback, get some first downs. Nick Chubb does his job, which Nick Chubb, in my opinion, is hands down the best running back in the past 2 years. I don't care what anyone says. That's my opinion. I think the Browns are going to take this game. I think it's indoors. I think Nick Chubb's going to run out this field because the Atlanta's defense isn't that great in the run. And I think Brissett, if he just continues to protect the ball and do his job with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb in the background and Cooper Kupp, gosh, all over the place with these Coopers.
Yeah,
Amari
right.
Cooper looks great in the Browns offense, which I never would have expected. I'm taking the Browns.
Yep. Same. All for what you said, basically. Falcons defense. It might actually be high. No. Is Myles Garrett, has he gotten that accident? Is he going to play?
Yeah, he's
questionable.
fine. He
Oh,
didn't
okay.
get
Isn't he
really.
questionable?
He got banged up, but I don't think he got like seriously injured where he won't play. I'm going
Okay.
Cleveland as well. I just think Cleveland's the better team.
I could see it being a shootout, though, especially like
With Mariota getting his
Cordero
first
Patterson.
win.
Who would have thought he'd turn out to be such a dynamic running back?
Just imagine he would have been a running back his whole career. I think they changed him to a wide receiver, then brought him back to a running back. But even last year, All right, we got the Chargers and Texans here. Chargers are 1-2. Texans are 0-2-1. It's in Texas. It's in Houston, Texas. I'm sorry, I almost said that wrong. Indoors, LA, man. Like the Chargers, like I don't get it, man. Like who beat them last week?
Jags.
Yeah, the Jags, man. Like,
Blew them out. I mean, their offense isn't clicking.
and I don't care, like, if you say Herbert's injured, man, he's making throws that are crazy good. Like, I just don't understand why the talent on the roster
Mhm.
is not doing the job. You know what I mean? Like, I could see this being a week where the Houston Texans and Mills just comes in and demolishes this team.
No.
I think Keenan is coming
The-
back, though, too.
These are the games the Chargers have to win.
They have to win them. Yeah, I agree.
I'm taking the Chargers, even though their offense is so bad right now. I mean, and their defense is giving up so many points. I'm going Chargers.
I'm taking an upset, man. I'm going the Texans. They're going to get their first win this week at home.
I'm taking the
Wow.
Texans, too.
Let's go, Aids. Come on now. Come on. Oh,
I think
next
they're
game.
banged up on the offensive line, too, the Chargers.
I love it. I love it.
I'm
Next
gonna make
game.
sure I
This is
circled it.
big division game here. We got the Washington Commanders 1-2 against the Dallas Cowboys, who are 2-1 with Cooper Rush in. Jerry Jones not giving up on this team with Cooper Rush. Oh, saying, I hope we have a quarterback competition because that means you got a
No.
good quarterback in there.
No. Dak's already thrown footballs in practice. He's already practiced it. We won last week, missing our freaking offensive lineman, missing our tight end, missing some great players. We're going to come out. We're going to destroy Washington as long as conservative Kellen lets them throw the ball around. Now,
Hey,
Kayron Kearse
points
is
per game, you're
practicing. Connor McGovern's practicing. Dalton Schultz is practicing. Michael Gallup is practicing. So, if we got Jason Peters for like 3 plays last week, and Zeke had his biggest run with him in the game. So,
Yeah.
Jason Peters plays at left guard, and Tyler Smith is playing amazing at left tackle. So if we can shore up that line, man, and Zeke's having a great year. I mean, it's not
He is.
numbers that are throwing you away. He's running the ball well. So
With that new
Dallas's defense is a stud defense, and I just think it's going to be too much. And I just think, boom,
Noah
we're gonna-
Brown.
we're
Look
gonna
out for
just-
Noah
we're
Brown.
gonna- We're going to destroy them.
Yeah, watching Carson Wentz, I don't even know how to describe that play. It's got to be one of my friends here. I don't know how he became a Commanders fan, but he is. And it's just uncomfortable watching Carson, watching Justin Field, watching some of these guys where you're like, you don't know what they're going to do when they drop back
I
to
know.
pass.
I
So,
know.
Cowboys-
No,
Mike-
the great thing is Dallas they could get Dak back by next week
Who
after
needs
this week against for the
Dak
Rams.
when you got Cooper Rush, man,
No,
taking you three
look,
wins? Is he going to go
the
with
thing
3
is,
wins?
Is Dak's playbook is this big? Cooper's
Hey,
is
if
this
Cooper
big,
Rush
okay?
gets you 3-0 right here, it's a big thing. Listen, my
Yeah.
gut wants to take the Commanders for some reason because they do have a high flying offense. They're 12th in points per game. Dallas is 30th in points per game. But I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys at home. Noah Brown has been a huge asset to Cooper Rush. I think Cooper Rush is smooth with the ball, almost like a Brissett. Just throw a couple first downs here. Let Tony Pollard and Zeke do their job. I think if the Commanders slow down the run game, though, and let Carson Wentz stay on the field, then that turns the game around. But I'm taking Dallas at home. Up, big
Good
shocking
choice.
game. Big shock. Don't know. Let's rewind it for a second. A team that's been shocking me this year, and we talked about them in the beginning of the year and said that they could maybe turn this around. Jacksonville Jaguars 2-1 going into Philly, who is 3-0, who everyone is saying this is the team that's going to the Super Bowl. This is your MVP this year in Jalen Hurts. He's the guy that throws a touchdown, crosses his arms and says, "I'm that dog. Throw me a touchdown. How you doing? Let's go." I'm taking Jacksonville hands down here. I don't know what it is. I think Eagles are good. I think the Eagles have a very good offense that is very hard to defend. But for some reason, man, Jacksonville's rolling hot.
Jacksonville has one of the best defenses in the league, man. Only allowed 38 points all season. I'm flying with Jacksonville, baby. With the
I'm
upset.
telling
It's
you.
not even an upset. Jacksonville is going to beat Philadelphia, but doesn't mean Philadelphia is a bad team.
I mean, they're on the. It's like 45.5. I don't know what I'm bad with those spreads and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take
don't
the
even do it.
Eagles.
That's probably the
I don't
over and
care.
under tie. Don't even do it.
You guys basically lost your hometown like, come on. You guys used to be the biggest Eagles fans living over.
Don't ever open your mouth again like that.
You've lost your root. No.
Jacksonville Jaguars are taking this win, and Eagles are going to be 3-1, and all the hype's going to go down. Jets 1 and 2.
Dallas Cowboys will be in first place.
Let's go.
Oh, they could be 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you could have a 3-team tie if the Giants win. That'd be crazy.
We go into Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, with the New York Jets are 1 and 2 going into Pittsburgh. Both teams 1 and 2, and both teams desperately need a win. Joe Flacco is Joe Flacco still playing?
I think you know who is healthy. Actually,
is he healthy?
I think Wilson. I think Wilson's going to start.
Does Wilson turn this?
This is a coin flip game. This is a coin flip game.
Yeah.
And it'll land on its edge.
Hey, Big Ben was on a podcast and he was saying, like, man, like,
yeah,
he said Big Ben was like, we all said it from the beginning that if this team starts to lose, everyone and their mother is going to chant Kenny, even though they haven't seen him play in a live game. You know what I mean? And he's like, I feel bad. He's like, he's not even playing that bad. The offense isn't clicking. The defense isn't really clicking that well. Like, I don't think I don't think Kenny's going to be like this huge guy that just makes you to an undefeated team, you know, but I am taking, the Steelers are the underdog.
What?
According to Bleacher Report.
Oh, I gotta see if that's the case.
I'm going Pittsburgh, man.
Oh,
if I had to pick it, the Jets are just.
Could you
horrible.
imagine the Jets pull a win on Pittsburgh? I'm taking Pittsburgh, but I'm rooting for the Jets.
But seriously, if they did beat them, how much? It's not an upset. They both suck.
Hey,
yeah.
The
Sorry,
Jets,
Gibby, they suck.
I feel like the Jets have like hung in there though in some of these games. I could be.
First possession.
I'll be honest though, the Jets have some good young guys that it is making you like open your eyes, and be like, man, maybe they get a couple wins this year. Maybe they get 3 wins this year. Maybe they get
this. Oh man, you know what? I think they win. I think they win this week too, and the alarms up in Pittsburgh get that much more louder.
Oh, I think. Wait. I think if the Jets win this week, those Kenny Pickett chants.
Dude, we need to look at something. We need. How many times have the Jets been in the top 5 in draft picks in the last 10 years?
Oh my God, yeah.
Probably all 9.
It's got to be a stat. There's got to be a stat. There's got to be something.
Let's get a stat guy.
They're horrible.
All right, we got the 1 and 2. We got the 1 and 2 Seahawks going into Detroit, who is also 1 and 2. Detroit could desperately. I think if Geno Smith loses this game, we could all say the Seattle Seahawks are basically going to get a top 3 quarterback in the draft this year. But the Lions, on the other hand, one of the highest flying offenses in the year this year, as far as points scored. I'm taking the Lions at home.
If they could just get a defense, man, they allowed 93 points this year.
That's a lot. I don't think Swift is. I think Swift is injured, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I think you're right.
And
I'm going Detroit.
Been a deal breaker.
It's in Detroit, right?
Yep,
it's in Detroit. Oh, Detroit all day.
I'll tell you what, man. Jared Goff looks good, and he's proven it because a lot of people were like, "Hey, we won't re-sign him. We'll just
Dude,
let him ride out this
it's their
deal."
defense.
It's their defense. They
If
should be
can
3-0.
Yeah. If they had Dallas's defense, they'd be the best team in football.
If they had anyone
Yeah.
else's defense,
It's a
they'd be
great-
the best team in the football.
And if we had their offense, we'd be the best team in football.
All right, I'm going Lions too. They get back to 500. I like
That is crazy though, and I feel bad for organizations like that. Like they easily, and we said this last year against them because they had the bounce field goal that went in by the Ravens. But this year, like it's serious. Like if they had a defense, they would easily
Oh my
be the
God, yeah.
best, one of the best teams in the league right now.
Well, just think about it. Next year, they can focus their draft on all defense, and they're gonna be solid.
They're gonna be
They're gonna
solid.
be solid.
They're gonna be solid. All right, you got the Titans who are 1-2 against the Colts who are 1-1. This is a divisional matchup, right?
Oh, weird.
Mhm.
It's in
Yeah.
Indianapolis. Let's be real. Titans aren't that scary. Derrick Henry, in my opinion, isn't that scary this year. Tannehill isn't that scary, but also the Colts
Mhm.
suck too, in my opinion.
Another coin flip.
Another coin
Yep.
flip. Hey, Colts are flying high right now. They beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes arguing with his offensive coordinator. I'm riding with the Colts. Matty Ice coming in, baby, beating Kansas City.
Matty Ice has one good game a year.
Coin
I mean,
flip.
That was it.
That was it. That was a Super Bowl win.
Coin flip. I'm going Titans.
Colts are
don't
the
know why,
Colts are the
but-
underdog here. Colts are the underdog here.
Where's it at?
It's in Indianapolis. Hey, they have the Lions as the underdog against Seattle.
I'm going. God,
That
I'm
is a
going.
coin flip.
I'm going Colts.
Yep. It's a
Okay.
Good decision. Good decision. Ace is always the odd man out. All right, we got the Cardinals who are 1-2 and who look like a complete disaster as if Kyler Murray is really doing any studying of the film. Nope. Going against the Carolina Panthers who are 1-2. I'm not even gonna discuss this one. I'm taking Carolina because I'm sorry. Backpedal. I'm taking the Cardinals. I watched the Carolina game last week and they could barely beat the Broken Saints. Baker Mayfield, I love Baker Mayfield. I want him to do well. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator. I don't know if it's the offensive line. I don't know if it's him. But they couldn't score a touchdown until the fourth quarter.
Hey,
I saw nothing.
According to
nothing impressive.
Aaron, they played a good defense, so
They're-
they beat
hey,
the good Saints.
I will give the Carolina Panthers credit though. Their defense look. You know what was so annoying is I have a friend down here, Carolina fan, and he was talking so much smack during the game. And when I said, bro, you act like your team did anything. Your defense had a
No
fumble
kidding.
and an interception and a blocked field goal. Baker Mayfield had 80 yards passing in the fourth quarter. What are you happy about? You beat a 1-2 Saints team who was struggling just as much as you did. I'm taking
going
the
Carolina. I'm going Carolina.
Cardinals. If the Cardinals want to be taken seriously, I guess both teams need a win. Then technically, they both need to be taken seriously.
Cardinals defense is horrible though. It's as bad as the
Yeah.
freaking Lions.
Yeah, it's really
So-
bad right now.
So I'm going Carolina. Carolina and might steal the division. Maybe have to make me eat my words.
Oh gosh. This big game here, in my opinion. You have the 2-1 Broncos, who definitely have not clicked yet. New coach,
Gosh.
new quarterback, playing the 0-3 Raiders. It's in Vegas. Raiders
Oh,
desperately need a win to stay in this division. This is like a do or die win, in my opinion. I know it's early. They're 0-3. They should have at least 2 wins. They just can't finish the games out. I'm taking the Raiders at home. I'm sorry. I'm a big fan on Let's Ride, but I think the Raiders.
There's
bounce
no
back.
offense there. Their
Yeah.
offense is horrible right now.
But they're scoring points. Like if you look at last week, they were winning almost the whole game, weren't they?
Would they score 11 points last week?
Wasn't it 24?
I
Yeah,
don't
that
know.
it
It's
should be
just, like,
let's
that's
try.
horrible.
Let's try and
Let's
score. 'Cause
try.
That was the
Let's
most
try.
ridiculous game to watch.
Wait,
that.
who are we
But-
talking about?
but-
Who we talking about?
Denver. Denver.
Oh,
Their-
I'm
their-
talking about the
their-
Raiders.
Their defense is solid. Denver's
Yeah.
defense is
Yeah.
solid. It's
I
just the
think
offense
Denver's
is not
defense is
clicking.
like third or
I'd bet the
second
under
in
on this
rush.
and the Raiders.
I'm
The
taking the
under and
Raiders. I'm taking
I
the
don't-
Raiders.
The Broncos are nothing sexy.
Little miscommunication between us.
Look,
You know, I was
I'm-
talking
I'm
about
in
the
the-
Raiders. You
I'm-
guys talk about the Broncos.
I'm in Denver right now, so I'm gonna go. Let's ride.
Let's ride.
I like
Denver
that. Let's
Broncos.
try.
What does it say? Denver country.
Broncos country. Let's try.
Let's try.
Broncos country. Let's ride. That's pretty good. Patriots are 1-2. Mac Jones currently is injured, but he's day to day, according to Bill Belichick, going into Green Bay, Wisconsin, playing the
Green Bay
2-1.
all day.
Playing the 2-1 Packers, who look on fire right now. Overreaction Monday. We said the Packers were done. Minnesota was going to the Super Bowl. That completely flipped. We overhyped that. Packers are going to the Super Bowl. They're 2-1. Okay. What is up with Bleacher? What is up with Bleacher Report? I mean, they got the Packers as the underdog.
That's not okay. Yeah, we can't take them seriously anymore.
I'm reading that right? If it's in the negative, you're the underdog.
Oh, no. Positive.
No, Ty.
Positive points
Dude!
is the underdog.
I literally said to you, Dad, I knew I was wrong. I knew it was positive. I
no,
said to you, I
before
said, is
you
it
said
naked? I said,
something-
is it negative? Is it thunder? You said,
You
yes,
said
it's
negative
underdog.
45. Nobody's favored by 45 points. Ty. I said it's probably the over-under.
Who
Rewind
said
the tape.
I didn't say negative 45.
Yeah, you did.
Before that,
Rewind the tape.
before that.
Anyway, Green Bay all day. I mean, New England's a joke, man.
Well, the
New
Raiders
England
are the
is the new-
favorite. The Raiders are the favorite. All right.
Raiders?
Let me go back a little
Sure.
bit. Panthers are the favorites. Colts are the favorites. They're not the underdogs. Lions are the favorites. All right. I got a couple of things
Oh,
wrong. I
okay.
apologize. I'm taking Green Bay Packers. I don't know if Mac Jones is playing. Even if Mac Jones is playing, I think
They're
Green Bay's winning.
trash. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Ace,
Absolutely.
who you taking, Ace?
Pack, go, baby.
I would never say that. I'd rather put gasoline in my eyes.
The Kansas City Chiefs, which I am in love with their stadium. I think it's the coolest, loudest stadium, even though I love my Saints Dome. Chiefs are on the road. They're 2-1 coming off a tough loss to the Colts. Patrick Mahomes over there, not too happy, yeah, as he gets into it with his offensive coordinator, shakes it off like it was no big deal, had a little bit of a disagreement. They're playing Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay was going to evacuate, but they're like, you know what? We're going. We're still playing Tampa Bay. Rain or sun, rain or shine. We're playing. Tom Brady.
What's
Tom
the
Brady broke-
status? What's the status on the receivers in Tampa Bay? I mean, Evans, Godwin.
I'll tell you the status on
and Julio
Evans for
Jones have all
sure.
been out.
I'll tell you the status on Microsoft tablets. Tom Brady's broken 2 in the past 2 weeks, maybe even more. I think Tom Brady's coming for the throats of Kansas City. He's winning this game.
Well, Tom Brady has enough money. He has enough money to buy tablets for everybody in the NFL.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm
Chiefs.
I'm
This is
taking
a get
Kansas
right
City.
game for
I'm
the
taking
Chiefs.
Kansas City, and
Yep.
I really want them to win because that's huge for the Saints. I think, like you said, Dad, I don't think the Buccaneers offense is clicking. Gronk's not there anymore. They brought in Cole Beasley to help. Their tight end Braid's not doing
Beasley
well.
didn't even touch the field last week.
They did 3 catches, I think.
Did he?
Oh, I didn't even see him.
Wow.
I didn't even see him on the
he did.
field.
He did. I saw him on fantasy. He had 3 catches.
Didn't see him in crunch time.
Nope, I didn't either.
I'm going Kansas City all day. Kansas City.
Mhm.
Hurricane Patrick's coming to Florida.
Oh, Hurricane
Hurricane.
Patrick. It's called Ian. Oh, I see what you
I
did
like
there.
that.
See what you did there.
Yeah.
Monday night, October 3rd, as we get into October football. Yes, sir. Rams 2-1 going into Jimmy G's house, who is currently 1-2. Something popped last week. They didn't win. He stepped out of bounds,
Rams.
tried to throw a ball in his own end zone, even though he
Oh
stepped
my
out of bounds.
God.
I get it. You don't understand. You're running. You wouldn't see it.
It's not a good
He
quarterback.
threw a pick 6 on that play too. That was returned in the end zone, so they would have actually gotten more points had he not stepped out of bounds.
Your own words last week were, he's a good quarterback. He's not great. So,
He's not great. Not
hey,
great.
I'm taking Jimmy G. He's winning this home game.
You're nuts.
LA is gonna kill him.
You're nuts. LA's LA's
Rams
gonna destroy
all
him.
day.
That if Jimmy G wins this game, you got to buy a Jimmy Garoppolo t-shirt, not a jersey.
I'll buy one to burn in the backyard.
All right. And to end it all, New Orleans Saints going into London to play the Minnesota Vikings.
Minnesota 24-17.
Minnesota Vikings. I'm
Let's go.
taking. Who that?
Let's go.
Who that say gonna beat them
Let's
Saints?
go.
I think it's gonna be a good game.
Well, I can tell you one thing. It's going to be a sold out
It
crowd.
is gonna.
It will.
Yeah, this is gonna be a
Absolutely.
rowdy bunch. I think
I'm-
both fan bases seem to have a pretty large presence, even internationally.
I'm
so
skipping
excited
church for this game.
I
Skipping
can
church for this
guarantee
game.
I can guarantee you 2 things. It's going to be a sold out crowd, and I guarantee you're going to see a Jacksonville Jaguars jersey. in the
Yo,
crowd.
always.
They love Jacksonville over there.
Obviously, I'm going to take the Saints. Ace is going to take Minnesota. Dad's taking Minnesota. We're going to move on. That's week 4 for you. That's our picks. Don't quote us on it. Don't hate us if it's wrong. We're not professionals. We're just professionals in our own little world in here.
Hey, professionals are wrong, so let's go. Just because they
Professionals
play, they think they're good
are-
at it. But
Wrong. Hey, out of the 2 undefeated teams, the Eagles and the Miami Dolphins, which one do you think stays undefeated this week?
Dolphins. Book it. Dolphins, book it.
I do like that. Eagles.
I'm taking Eagles, even though I picked the Jaguars to win.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I picked the Jaguars to win, but out of those 2 matchups, who's Miami playing? Miami's playing Lamar. Oh, they're
Bengals
playing
tonight.
the Bengals. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah,
taking the
Bengals.
Dolphins. I'm taking the Dolphins all day. All day. All right. let's crank this down. We'll talk about some baseball coming up real quick. Hey, we got some playoff baseball coming up soon. How's Minnesota going, Ace? I mean, are they even irrelevant anymore? Are they eliminated over there because the Yankees clinched?
Stop.
Yankees
Congrats to Aaron
clinched.
Judge. Congrats
Aaron
to Aaron
Judge, 61 home runs. I turned off the TV again, and he hits a home run. I think I just need to keep turning the TV off. But if he hits one more, that's the big one. In my eyes.
AL, yep.
Hey,
You know what's
record.
amazing though? You know what's amazing last night when he hit that ball? Ty wasn't even watching it. I messaged him, said he hit it. You know what? There was a Toronto fan. That lottery ticket was coming straight for his glove, and he missed it. He missed it by inches. Dude, that
Oh.
was $15 million easily that would have caught and he would have had in his
Yeah, but
hand.
who
He could-
do you have the balls to walk up to Judge's like rep and be like, "Hey, I'm not giving this ball unless you give me $10 million."
Absolutely.
Who gives him $10
Absolutely.
million?
Organization, who knows? Who
Like, would
knows?
it be the organization that just write you a $10 million
no,
check?
No.
Or
What they're saying is when he hit his 60th home run, that ball was valued at $10 million.
No,
That's on
I
the market.
understand.
I'm
I
just
understand what you're
so
saying.
if they sell it to a collection agency, one of those collections vendors or whatever they call them, they'll give you almost $10 million for that ball. Number
Mhm.
61 is probably more in value, which Judge got back and he gave to his mom last night was awesome. If somebody gets number 62, that ball, I would take that ball, shove it down my pants, and I'd run out of that place and yell for security.
See,
Yep.
my thing though is being the
My
person
starting
I-
thing is I want your game worn jersey that you hit the ball with.
I
and
was
the
gonna
bat.
say, me being the person I am, I think I'd walk up to him and be like, "Hey man, like, can I just chat with you for like 30 minutes? Get some autographs. Like, I'll take your jersey. Give
I
me an
don't want
autograph. Autograph. bat.
Autographs still mean nothing.
I
I
want,
want
a
your
photo.
game worn jersey.
Hey,
I want your
listen,
game worn
I'm trying to
bat.
do the podcast a favor here because I'd walk up and be like, "Hey, like, I got a podcast. You want to come on for 30 minutes? Just
Nope.
chat it up with
I'd
us.
love
Meet my
that.
buddy Ace.
Oh yeah, I'd take that. That'd be priceless.
Could you imagine like
yeah,
I call you guys and
absolutely.
like, guys, I got Aaron Judge next week. Get on your computers right now. We're doing a podcast. It's like
And I'll
10
tell
o'clock
him-
at night.
I'll
And
say,
guess
look,
what? He
I'll say,
reveals which team he's signing with. Too.
Yeah, he's like, "Guys, I'm going to Boston."
And I'd say to him, look, it doesn't mean anything to you, but I want season tickets for the Denver Broncos for the next 4 years. That's the closest stadium, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
no. Look, I would seriously take that ball, go home, think about it, pray about it.
I would.
and
I would just
decide.
give it to him.
I would decide.
I would just give it to him.
Anyway.
I honestly like let's ask each other, like, let's everyone say what you would do, right? This is what I would do. If I caught the ball, like, security's probably gonna come up to me. I'd be like, "Hey, I just want to meet him. Like, take me down to him." I would chat with him for like a good you could, because you could get money out of it, right? But like, if I was the professional
all-
baseball, it's my turn. It's not your turn yet. You need
He
to
probably
you
can
get the-
chat with you. That's the problem.
I'd be like, "Hey man, like, let me get a photo. Can I get an autograph bat? Maybe a signed jersey that you game worn, and just collect some stuff." Deep,
Absolutely.
I think I'd want to, like, obviously you're like, "Oh man, I could have sold that for $15 million." But like, at the same time, I'd rather be that cool fan that you see on MLB's Instagram, like, "Hey, like, this guy gave Aaron Judge's ball, like, they had a good time." I wouldn't want to be that crappy guy that, like, A-Rod happened. Remember with A-Rod, that guy wouldn't get in the ball and then they ended up donating money to a charity.
Mm.
But you know what, Ty? It's like once in a lifetime. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
need to think about it. You need to think about, like,
Yep.
the last kid that got the 60th ball, he got autographs with his friends and he got to, like, stand with him, get photos. But I honestly would say, look, if I'm going to give you this ball back, I want that game worn jersey because that game worn jersey is going to be worth at least $500,000.
That's probably going
Just
the home
'cause,
run. That's probably going the home run. The Hall of Fame.
I want the bat. I want the bat. I want the game, that bat that you used. I want that. And I want you to come on the podcast for 20 minutes. Oh no, I want you to come on the podcast
Longer.
for 62 minutes. 62 minutes.
Yeah. No. 62 times throughout the year.
Yeah.
Or once a month every off season for the next 2 years.
See, the thing is you can't jump into a
Where
decision that
is-
fast. You got to think about it, man, because that's a lottery ticket in your hand.
That is
First of all, you got to make it to the parking lot with that ball. Did you see the
Yep.
dog pile? The kid that
yeah,
got
yeah,
60?
yeah. We talked about this last week.
Yeah, I'm just
I
saying.
would go up to one of the security guards, be like, "Hey, I need 5 of you to walk me to my car, and you're not going to leave my car until I start my car and drive away."
Dude, did you see the guy in
How many-
Toronto the first night? He bought like the whole section of seats around him.
No.
But I'm like, it was all empty seats in this one area, and just one guy sitting
Oh,
there.
wow.
And
That's
I'm like,
smart.
that doesn't matter. If that ball's hit that area, dude, everyone's gonna flood to that area.
Hell yeah. Oh,
Yeah, he's still got a better chance though.
Yep.
That's hell. If I had that money, I'd do it.
Yeah, man.
What
Well-
are the seedings quick before we wrap up? It looks like Toronto's clinched a playoff berth.
They
so it
clinch
looks
wild
like
card.
Tampa has the lead over Seattle by a half a game, and then
The Phillies might miss the playoffs.
Baltimore. Baltimore's trailing them. The Phillies
Yo,
right now
could
are
you imagine
tied with the
Baltimore?
Bucks
Can you imagine Baltimore, the
or the
Rays,
Brewers.
and the Blue Jays and the Yankees all make the playoffs?
But there's only how many spots? There's
There's-
two more spots left.
The-
So it looks
and
like
the
San
Yankees
Diego
have-
is going to get that one division or one wild card spot, and then the Brewers and Philly.
Aren't there 3 wild card spots this year?
Yeah,
there
Atlanta.
are.
Sorry,
There are.
Atlanta already has that locked up.
The Yankees have 2 series left, one with Baltimore and
Texas.
one with Texas. They still have to play these games out because they still have a chance to get the number 1 seed. I mean, they're only 6 games behind Houston, who is 7-3 in their last 10. The Yankees are 9-1.
You know
I
why,
would-
Judge?
So
They
you
should
know what?
just get swept by Baltimore so they can get them in as
Screw
opposed
them.
to Tampa. Wouldn't you rather face them versus Tampa?
I don't know, because
But
Baltimore's kind of like
Houston
a
would get
quiet
them.
storm.
Houston. Yeah.
You know why? You
yeah.
know why Judge hit that home run last night? Because Rizzo was the active manager. He stood right where Aaron Boone was. He had the same watch on, same outfit. Aaron Boone gave Rizzo like an active manager control. Like he was able to make all the decisions besides the bullpen decision. That still was on air. That was still Aaron Boone. But hey, Thursday Night Football is getting ready to start. Any last things you guys want to throw out there before we end this podcast?
Just call.
let it ride. Well, real quick. If the playoffs started tonight, the Yankees would be in the bracket as number 2 seed with Cleveland and Seattle. They'll get that win out of that series.
I'd rather play Cleveland.
Houston would get Tampa Bay or Toronto, which I think is the tougher bracket. I think I think that's going to be tough because they have good hitters, especially Toronto. The Yankees beat a good team. So I would rather be where we're at because the Guardians, we know we can handle them.
I hate
In
Houston.
Seattle,
I
they
hate
really
Houston.
don't have much.
Seattle
the
scares me
Phillies-
low key. I don't know why.
The Mets are the number 2 seed right now. They would play the winner of the Phillies and St. Louis. St. Louis is hot right now. The Dodgers would get the
Hey, Albert
Braves or
Pujols.
San Diego. So if I'm projecting, I'm saying right now, I'm saying the Mets against Seattle. Mets against St. Louis. The Dodgers, they're getting the Braves all day. The Yankees, I think the Yankees are going to get Seattle. I think Seattle's going to shock the Guardians. And I think Houston's going to play Toronto. And I think Toronto's going to win that series.
You see, Albert Pujols and Yadier
I
Molina
like
said that
that.
this is it. This is their last year together. They're both
Yeah,
retiring.
yeah. All I gotta
Oh,
say
that's
is
sweet.
I do not want the Yankees to be in Houston for another year for a Game 7
Me
with
neither,
Garrett
man.
Cole, who gives up a lot of home runs anymore, going against the freaking Houston Astros.
I would
really
just
don't want
hit the first batter. Just hit the first batter. Cause a fight.
I
Got
don't want to
Altuve.
see Houston, man. Houston has the best of all these playoff teams. Houston has the best rotation.
Yep.
They're always good in the
By
playoffs
far.
too, man. Oh, they're
Yeah.
always dangerous. They're always
Yeah.
dangerous.
So let's go Toronto or Tampa Bay. Beat the shit out of Houston.
Yes,
That's all I
sir.
gotta say.
Hey, well, we hope you guys enjoy this, and hopefully you're still listening to our beautiful voices. Thank you again to Erin Summers, who comes on every so often.
Thank you very much.
Hopefully a lot better than last time. Last time we had a couple issues on here and stuff, and it was a little funny. Hey, let's ride. Let's ride to the weekend.
Woo.
Woo! Hey, we hope you guys enjoyed your night, enjoy your Friday, enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Hey.